Today's Christmas reading comes from the book A Foxfire Christmas. Back then, there wasn't much Christmas, to tell you the truth, because there wasn't nothing for you to have like they is now. We didn't know what a firecracker was, never heard tell of a firecracker. All the noise we made for Christmas, serenading people on Christmas Eve, was done with a shotgun. We get shotgun shells, 50 cents a box, and we get out there and shoot up in the air, serenading people. Them barrels would get so hot we'd have to set them down and wait a while and then just start again. Just getting out and going around, sneaking up to someone's house, was our entertainment at Christmas time. That's what we called serenading. They didn't know nothing about it, and we just come up shooting, ringing bells, and making the darndest noise you ever heard. If they was in bed, they just as well to get up, 'cause they sure can't sleep. They just have to get up and ask us in. They'd always invite us in and feed us, looking for a bunch anyway. They'd have something for us to eat, and sometimes give us a present or something. We'd be going all night nearly. There'd be about 25 or 30 of us. The girls would join us too, and we'd all go. Everybody would make some kind of noise, one way or the other. We had to walk, and sometimes we'd go for 5 or 6 miles, take us half the night to get back after we got through serenading people. The people that lived around in the settlement, they wasn't thick settled though, like they are here. There might be somebody lived here, and it might be a half a mile out there to the next house, maybe a mile, but we'd go and just keep a-going till we gave 'em all a good round. Of course, we'd never get in till way along up in the morning. People in them days would have a cow and a horse at least in the stalls in the barn. While they were asleep that night, we'd take the horse out of one stall and put in the cow stall and move the cow into the horse's stall. They go in there to milk the next morning. We like to be there to watch, and there'd stand the old horse in the cow stall. Boy, they'd get mad. They'd throw their milk bucket down on the ground. They'd be mad enough to kill somebody, but they didn't know who done it. Us kids got a lot of kicks out of that. We'd do all kinds of tricks like that. We'd move people's stuff, hide some of their stuff, hide their axes or something else. Whatever we could find loose laying out, we'd hide it. Wouldn't put it where he couldn't never find it, but he'd maybe have to hunt for 2 or 3 days for it. Folks didn't care though. Everybody else done it. Just like trick or treat here now on Halloween. It was just on the same basis. Everybody done it. They'd just gather up, boys and girls, and they'd just take off. Oh yes, we had gag gifts. I'd always fix up something that nobody wouldn't have, wrap it up mighty nice, and send it. Had a lot of fun with that. I don't remember what any of them was. We done so much of that. In fact, we done more of that than anything else. I was a pretty good-sized boy before we ever had a Christmas tree. We always thought Santa Claus came down the darn chimney all the time, and we hung up our stockings, but we didn't put up no Christmas tree. Santa Claus would bring us all kinds of candy and oranges, things like that, but they wasn't no toys. I'd rather have had a tricycle back then than to have a Cadillac today. We had to make our own wagons. We always had us a wagon, kept us a good wagon. If ours got to be wearing out, our daddy would make us another one. Now he'd have us one for Christmas. We didn't have no little old toy pistols, cat busters to play with. Didn't know what they was. All the guns that we ever had were made out of wood. Somebody would just whittle 'em out. We'd get up about 2 o'clock Christmas morning. We was all early risers because my daddy always got out at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't care if it was pouring rain, snowing knee-deep, you come out of there. If it was too bad to get out to the field to work, we'd go to the barn and shuck corn or something or other around the barn, clean up. He always found us something to do, so we was used to getting up early. Christmas Day was a hunting day. All of us boys went a-hunting that day. Our parents would let us have about 2 days at Christmas to hunt in, and I always had me about 5 or 6 good dogs. We'd get out there in them fields, and you talk about fun. Shooting and running rabbits, we had it. And they was a lot of rabbits then. Ain't no rabbits now. Then they was rabbits. We always had a big Christmas dinner, all kinds of pies and things. We raised our own turkey and all kinds of chickens, so we'd have our own turkey for Christmas dinner. I'd say coconut cake and lemon pie are my favorites at Christmas. I never get tired of those things. I'll eat them till they make me sick, and I still love the dad-blame things. I just love them. Some of our folks would come down from below town and spend Christmas with us. About 5 or 6 of them would. There was always something going on at Christmas time. We was at their house or they was at ours. We'd have a good time, enjoy a few days during Christmas time. The family gets scattered out, but they'd always come back home for Christmas. Always did come back for Christmas to see us. We always looked forward to Christmas, had a lot of fun. We always had church, and that's one thing we had to go to, I tell you. I've rid to church in an old ox wagon, and there'd be so many on it, the old ox couldn't pull 'em up the hill. We'd get off and walk to the top of the hill and ride down. We couldn't buy things at the store for Christmas like you can now. I have an idea that was really better. Now kids get so many toys they don't enjoy Christmas because every time they go to the store it's Christmas. They won't get out of there till you buy them a toy. The only time we got a toy was at Christmas, and that was a year apart.